How is everyone doing tonight? The game just ended recently. I've got to get my 2 air horns in. I almost did a live watch party. I almost went live at like 8:30 p.m. so that we could watch the game. But I'm glad I got to watch it, the entire thing. Let me make sure I get to the right colors now. We're not going red light stand yet, but maybe that'll happen tonight. We'll see where we go. Naturally, got to get out the air horn. USA took down Bosnia and Herzegovina, I believe. Bosnia and Herzegovina. Terrible red card. A foul was called on the field, and then they reviewed it into a red card, which just made no sense whatsoever. But yeah, USA. One last air horn for Krabby's ears. Hopefully it's not like exceedingly loud, but hopefully it's a little bit loud. Red card and then defending a 1-goal lead for 30 minutes. I guess I should have said at the outset, spoilers for the USA game if anyone recorded that and was watching it later. Krabby's ears are bleeding. But what a game. It sucks that they're out. I guess we're going to use the first 3 minutes to recap that USA game because I'm riding that high still. But having to play Monday without one of their better players because of that terrible call, unfortunate. Red card, that's a Pokemon card, right? I'd cut back on the air horn. I don't even know where I would go to turn the volume down on that, but I probably have the ability somehow. I shouldn't be using it again tonight. I should have done some earbud warnings, volume warnings. Yeah, I don't even know where I would adjust that. Anyways, we're done with it for tonight. We're not doing a live watch party. The game is over. USA won. They got to take care of business on Monday in Seattle against. I just watched who they're. Belgium, is it? I think it's USA Belgium. Yeah, Monday at 8 p.m. So that'll be exciting. Anyways, if anyone has any questions, feel free to ask them in the chat. As always, I'm going to be live for the next X amount of time until I've answered every question. I see that my overlay, I think I forget to use this half the time. The overlay is like sized incorrectly. I can see part of my background above the overlay there, and it's kind of annoying. But oh no. Dan just woke up. My 2-year-old, I want pack restitution. Sorry for that. But yeah, if anyone has any questions, I have a couple topics. I guess I'll address. What did I title this? Will the summer slowdown crush Pokemon investments? It's funny. Like a couple weeks ago, I saw more people talking about the summer slowdown from the perspective of like, why is everyone talking about the summer slowdown? And I'm kind of doing this in my title, like ironically, because I am consuming a lot less PokeTube lately. I still consume quite a few podcasts, really little, if any, short form videos. Pretty much just like a handful of podcasts with some of my friends run. But I kind of made the observation that at least from the content that I consume, I hear people asking about why everyone's talking about the summer slowdown more than I hear people talking about the summer slowdown. As far as my data goes, as far as the consignments through Fanatics go, as far as the live streams go, I don't see anything drastic. We literally Saturday, we just had our biggest single stream ever. Aside from kind of cheating Pokemon Day in New York City, where we just went mad with instant rips. Fanatics put together some crazy instant rips for us, but we did 178,000 GMV on Saturday night. Shout out to Ponga for that one. That was a great stream. Very strong pricing, very strong sell-through. We peaked it. I guess our viewership was down slightly. I think my YouTube channel viewership is down slightly lately. That's probably more of a me thing than a market thing. Maybe it's the market, but I'm not the kind of person who like points, oh, my numbers are looking worse, so I've got to find an excuse as to why that's happening. Oh, summer slowdown. I can excuse myself for my channel growing less, my GMV growing less, my net revenue growing less, my numbers growing less because of the excuse of the summer slowdown. I think some amount of people use it as that. And I just don't like to do that. Maybe if I prepared some conversation around I'm a terrible YouTuber and I wasn't live at the right time. I didn't make a response video at the right time. But there's been some dumb stuff going on in the Pokemon space, as there always is. But got me fired up a little bit. I actually did consume a couple short form videos that I thought were terrible takes on some of the happenings in the Pokemon space. But we'll see if that ends up coming up. I did put some notes together around that if it comes up. But other than that, I was trying to open up my stream elements and seeing if I could repair this overlay quickly, because it's annoying me how it doesn't go to the top. I think I just fixed it. Almost. It's still not perfectly done. I think it's a lot better now. I think, yeah, I can't see my finger above that now. So fix the overlay on the fly. What a professional YouTuber I am. Let me make sure it's frozen in my OBS. It is. Okay, I think we're good to go. But yeah, anyone with any questions, feel free to ask them. And let me finish addressing. I very minimally addressed the title. Am I panic selling everything because of the Boogeyman Summer Slowdown? No. Have I ever really made any drastic business decisions over a theoretical seasonal thing? No. I've always been one who talks down on like all these seasonal things because even though generally speaking, people travel more in the summer. I mean, down south, it's almost the opposite way, right? Like up north, I'm in New York. We barricade ourselves inside in the heat when it's February and it's freezing, right? Well, in the summer during the slowdown, people in Florida, people in Texas, people in Arizona, don't they do the same thing we do in the winter? Don't they do that in the summer with their air conditioning? So I guess more of the population is probably California. I don't think it's so crazy hot to where people have to barricade themselves in. Obviously, a lot of population there. But anyways, I've never majorly bought into the whole summer slowdown thing. I've never drastically changed my business because of it. And I generally recommend that people don't, because one thing is certainly true, and especially depending on where you are. If I'm eBay or Amazon, if I'm the Pokemon company, if I am a company that is operating at the highest levels of the space, I'm more likely to care more about it, especially like I've heard some people say summer slowdown who might have a GMV of, they might have a 90 day, and I'm not saying this in like a picking on them way, but they might have a 90 day of like $3,000. It's like your 90 day relative to the market is so small that your 90 day could triple if you like. You might have to work a little bit more per unit GMV per unit 90 day. But when you're operating at such a small scale relative to the overall market, the market could drop 30% and you could grow over time. And very good demonstration of this. I quit my job in 2021, July of 2021. We just entered July of 2026. Sometime between now and my next live stream, 2 weeks from now, it will be my 5-year anniversary of putting in my my 2-week notice and getting done with my engineering job. But just to demonstrate what I'm saying, 2021 we were booming. Some parts of the WotC boom, 2020, 2021, we're starting to wane a little bit. But and this blows my mind. People call 2022, 2023, maybe even 2024 the bear market. I mean, it was the bear market. It was a multi-year slowdown. What was it? The summer slowdown? Did that cause all that? Each successive year from 2021, 2022, each successive year, my GMV and my net have grown significantly. This year is projected to be no different. So, like, again, if you are Amazon, they have such a huge portion of such a huge market that like they do. And I think like the holiday season between Cyber Monday and Black Friday and Christmas, there is generally more volume, but volume isn't price. Like there are times where the prices have gone down while the volume has gone up through the holiday season. There's times where the volume has gone up and the price has gone up with it. Really kind of like that saying or whatever that statistics are kind of irrelevant to the individual. It's like, oh well, I was gonna go with some like dark statistic there, but if let me Google it so I'm not just making it up. I'll just offload the making up statistics to whatever Google article I pull up here. But what percent of businesses fail in the first 5 years? Massive number. This says only 48 to 50. I would have guessed. So the number that I was going to make up, I was going to say 80%. And actually one of the top posts is the E-myth, why most small businesses don't work and what to do about it. This says it's a myth that 80% of companies fail. So that's why I didn't say it, because I felt like I was going to be making it up. But Google says it's actually less. Oh, so only 50% of new businesses fail within the first 5 years. What is it? So 10 years. In the first 10 years, around 65% of all businesses do not survive the decade. I'm not going to not start a business because there's 2 in 3 chance that by year 10, I'm going to be packed up and done, right? Statistics mean, they mean nothing to the individual. You can overcome a majority of failures, right? If you put yourself in the right position, the right amount of runway, build the right foundation, I'm as confident as I can be that if I desire to be doing business in 5 years in Pokemon, I will be doing business in 5 years in Pokemon. Summer Slowdown or whatever other seasonal excuses people make. That's my take on it, though. I think that's all the ranting I have. I mean, Summer Slowdown, we're doing record live streams. Summer Slowdown PSA is closed under $80 per card. Summer Slowdown tag is closed under $150 a card. Summer Slowdown Pokemon is as we speak, they are adding 1 million plus square feet of printer capacity. It's just it's always been silly, and go back over my 5 years. I've probably used it in the titles here and there. I've probably done the YouTube thing, but I don't have massive buy-in. And one thing I'll say too, unrelated to the time of year, or ironically, maybe everything I said was just terrible commentary, because one thing I have noticed, and I'm not personally attributing it to the summer, but maybe it has more to do with the summer than I realize. So this is me like in live demonstrating the fact that I know that I don't know anything. I know nothing about the Pokemon market. I don't think I have it here handy, but let me get my newest hot buy list fired up here. Oh no, I do have it fired up. So my hot buy list is I'm gone fishing. It's summertime. I went to the water park with the family on Monday. I took the day off. I'm one of my biggest single tasks that I do every single week is coordinate buys and paying and receiving and shipping it to consignment operations and shipping it to Ponga, PK, Beerski, all the different operations that I help work with. I'm gonna do a lot less of that in the summer. I'm not selling a bunch of stuff, and I'm not having the mega stream and buying a lot less because I'm panicked that the Summer Slowdown is going to knock 50% off the market across the board. I know that could happen. I knew that could happen 6 months ago, and it didn't. I knew that could happen a year ago, and it really didn't. I'm not calling for that by any stretch of the imagination. And around the same time last year, I said that I want to be more liquid by the fall. I have that same opinion. I have that same desire. I have that same intent. I intend to be significantly more liquid going into the fall. I'm really so, and one thing I need to clarify too, just because this has nothing here, my buy list still exists. Let me Let me show my buy list actually. So just because my hot buy list has nothing on it doesn't mean my buy list has nothing on it. Some people, and it's fair to only want to sell to me. What my hot buy list is every Monday, if I'm paying over 80% or higher of market price, I put that on my hot buy list. Like, hey guys, I really want and need this stuff, so I am paying 80, 85, 90% on it. Is this going to show a messy desk? This isn't going to show a messy desk. So we're going to go here. Or is this the right one? Yeah, this is the right one with the overlay. Covering my desk because, yeah, I have like medical papers and stuff on my desk that I need to take care of. But yeah, let me show my Chrome. And so my buy list lives here. My buy list is catchemallcollectibles.com/buy list. It's always there. And even though I don't have the hot buy list, the guy's fishing right there, I'm buying everything. Chaos Rising Perfect Order, I have so much of. When a set is brand new, I always start my buys at 50 or 60% because like TCG player single pack pricing is really, really high. I don't really have any need for Chaos Rising or Perfect Order. They're selling very slowly. Ascended Heroes, 70%. Most of the things you'll see, Black Bolt, White Flare, I'm still like, I could use more of them, but I didn't put on my hot buy list. A lot of times, like say I wanted the hot buy list Black Bolt this week, I would look at, and I have 80% because I wanted 80% is 1148. I would round that up to 12. Same thing for White Flare. Actually, last week I had them on my hot buy list at $12 a pack. And so I put 80 as the baseline here. And then sometimes what happens is, and people have messaged me about this before, sometimes I hot buy list something at 12, like Black Bolt here. And then Friday that week, the market price goes up to 16 and 80% is actually like 13 and change. So I will always pay the higher of the two. If it's on my hot buy list here and it's higher down here, I will pay the higher number. But I anecdotally, very small sample size, blah, blah, blah. But I've been buying a lot. I've been buying a lot in the past 2 weeks. So back in January, I was paying 80, 85% on most big collections. I was buying 6-figure collections for 80 to 85%. I was paying 85% on the higher end slabs and on the higher end sealed and 80% on pretty much anything. And then that got to be too cumbersome. Don't go broke on good deals and then miss out on great deals. I lowered my buys pretty universally to 80%. And I bought 50K, 100K, 150K. I bought like $250,000 worth of collections a month ago at 80%. So now I'm doing 75%. I just locked a deal on 12 cases of Sword Shield era cases and on 20K worth of slabs and on 15K worth of singles. Are the big 50K, 100K, 150K ones coming in right now? No, but like I also don't want to be dealing with many of those this summer. PK Ponga, pretty stocked. Beerski Shop, pretty stocked. My loose pack inventory is quite stocked. I actually, for the first time in a month or so, I actually updated the wholesale portion of my website, and I sold a big chunk last week, and then I sold the remainder this week. I sold like 70 grand worth of packs wholesale last week and this week in a summer slowdown. But anecdotally, I source 7 figures of Pokemon collections a year, multiple 7 figures of Pokemon collections a year. I am able to buy at 75 to 80% a lot of Pokemon right now. I've talked anecdotally with other very large buyers, and I will never use private conversations publicly. Like I will never specifically. I will talk generally about things that I hear multiple times. But if one person tells me one thing, I'm not going to use one individual anecdote, even a private conversation generally publicly. But this is several people, and then there's some public examples too. If someone says something publicly and I see it, I'll be perfectly content, like signal boosting that. And like Brian Pokey, this was probably a few weeks ago. I don't think this is today. He might be back to buying collections right now, but he was buying collections at like 80% a month or so ago, and he was buying a bunch of them. And you could see he'd do a story post, and he'd do I think he did a video here or there on some big collections that he bought. And I saw multiple times where he'd post a story like, hey guys, the buy list is closed currently. He closed his buy list multiple times. I don't ever want to close it. Like if you want to sell, I'll always be here paying something. but I'll just lower it if and when I get inundated, and that's exactly what I'm doing right now. I had been getting inundated, and so I'm lowering it. Are people selling everything into the summer so that they can go on an RV trip across the country, so that they can go to the World Cup final game? Like I don't know exactly why. A lot of the times I get somebody selling a high five figure or six figure collection to me. I do kind of ask, like, hey, if it's not too prying, if you don't care to answer, like, feel free not to. But anything that this is going towards, in the past few months, it had been a down payment on a house. It had been, hey, I'm moving abroad with my spouse. I want to buy other things in Pokemon. Like, this is all stuff that is appreciated a ton, and I just want to redeploy elsewhere in Pokemon. I had gotten a lot of different answers. Never really, maybe once or twice, that there was like, this stuff's a little bit hot, this stuff's a little bit high. I think it's going to come down fairly significantly. That was only the answer on a minority of deals. But yeah, it's just interesting. I'm in a lot of different discords, and I definitely just see some chatter where, like, hey, normally I buy X amount a week and I'm buying at 90%, and I've lowered my rates to 85 or to 80 or to 75 or whatever it may be, and I'm getting just as much as I got a month ago at XYZ percentage or whatever. It's pretty interesting. Pretty interesting observation. So I can't afford to be the only one paying 85%. I will literally go broke in not days. I will go broke in minutes. If I put this week, especially if I put a post out, and I've had multiple people email me with, here's a six-figure collection, here's a six-figure collection, 75%. $200,000 collection, I offered a flat 150,000. And you know what? Like, there's a chance they might come back and I might still buy that next week or something, because they might go elsewhere thinking like, oh, this guy's scamming me, offering me 150 grand on 200, offering me 75%. But if they go around and Pokemon not buying at 80%, and I mean, I might be the best option. I might be the strongest payer. I can't afford to be the strongest payer by 10 or 15%, right? So that's how I operate. That's my take on the whole, will the summer slowdown crush Pokemon investments? I don't think so. But also, would it be the most shocking thing in the world if things dropped 20, 25, 30% across the board this summer? It wouldn't be mind-blowing. I mean, a lot of stuff is like 2, 3, 5, 10x in the past year. So if it gives back 30%, like, it's still up a massive amount, and that wouldn't be the craziest thing to ever have happened, right? With that, I think that's all I'm going to do for my 23-minute rant to start. I'm going to go through and I'm going to start starting questions, and I'm going to start answering questions. Summer Slowdown is great. I wish it was all year round. As always, I'm going to be live until I answer the final question. Leave your questions in chat. Ideally, just leave them once. I will get to you eventually. If you want to jump the line, if you subscribe while we're live, a little lawnmower will ride here. If I see the lawnmower go and it says that somebody tipped $1 or whatever, I'll go answer that question first. So it is pay to play here. No, it's free to play, but with like a freemium upgrade where you can fast pass to the front of the line, as always. I think we could all use a summer slowdown. That comment came in 3 times. A little bit of lagging going on with power playback collectibles must be. Late, I'm sure he'll blame Nick. I went live when it said 10:15 on my end. But maybe it was 10:16 by the time it pushed through. I don't know. Jay Flint says, too late, I'll have to watch the rest tomorrow. I was going to go live earlier, but main reason I went live when I did was because I wanted to watch the US game. And then the additional reason, I'm going to see, I think there's like, yeah, Jar Chop is still live. I see Alex is live. Earlier, I thought I saw that, yeah, Off Center was live as well. They just ended 4 minutes ago. Thrifty being live during a U.S. soccer game. Only Thrifty and Mason it was tonight. I'm surprised Thrifty didn't watch the U.S. game. She went live. Thoughts on Medizu Summer Slowdown? There is... I probably don't have time to do it for this Saturday, but just this morning, I listened back. I listened back to Zach went live on the MetaZoo channel. I will be very minimal here. I will do a MetaZoo Saturday video, likely next Saturday. This Saturday is the 4th, and I have some plans Friday and Saturday. And maybe like I definitely won't have MetaZoo Saturday for this Saturday the 4th, but tentatively for the 11th, if not the 11th, definitely by the 18th. I will do a video on just a little bit of commentary around MetaZoo, my future plans for MetaZoo. There's been some news. Zach Gemmett Pokemon. I'll do like a 2-minute overview of what happened there, and I'll steer you to where you should find the information if you so desire. Zach Gemmett Pokemon went live. Oh, there's our oh yeah, I moved it up there when my dad when my dad was here for the live stream because it was over his face. But I watched Zach's live. He was live on the official MetaZoo channel on YouTube, and he did like a Q&A and an update on what's going on. He laid out the roadmap for all of 2026 and all of 2027. There has not been a set since Secret Shadows. There's been a several-month delay in between the last set and the next set. But a roadmap was laid out for 2026 and 2027. Zach Gemmett Pokemon is the new managing member, replacing Charlie Herlocker as the managing member of MetaZoo for various reasons that he detailed. Formerly, I had always said that I am a co-owner, which I still am. I'm a co-owner of Meta2, who bought MetaZoo, who was licensing MetaZoo to GQL. We are taking control back from GQL, essentially. I'm not going to get into details of why and how and when and where and who, but Zach did all that. So go check all that out. I still will not have day-to-day involvement in the operations. When the roadmap came out, that was me seeing it all and hearing it all for the first time as well as the general public. So that will be a consistent thing moving ahead. But some exciting information came out from that. I've OG Zoo, New Zoo. Some people are calling this Meta 3. Is it still Meta 2? Is it Meta 3 now? Third time's the charm. Maybe not. I don't know. But we'll see where it goes. We'll see what the future holds. I still do have some amount of ownership in that. I don't know why that sound is coming through my speaker. I guess I'll just turn my speaker off. But yeah, we'll talk about that more in the future. I do see a super chat came through, so I'm going to answer that. Question, lots of news about a glut of Pokemon product coming with the 30th. How true is that? Could we see MSRP? Also Dragon Ball. I've been calling for it incorrectly for over a year. I had thought that every set would eventually be available under MSRP, widely available under MSRP. I'm not giving up hope yet on Destined Rivals. I will. I'm a man of my word. I will hold up my end on the bet. The bet with Retro, the goods are sat right over there. I will pay Retro the Glory of Team Rocket case that comes with, I believe, 2 Glory of Team Rocket booster boxes in it. But I'm not throwing in the towel yet. It would not be shocking if Pokemon printed a ton of 30th. And if they drop a ton of 30th, and if they drop a ton of bunch of other things, I don't know. I have no insight into this. I don't have like bad relationships with my distros, but I don't have as good of relationships with my distros to where I talk to them every day like some other large accounts do. I love listening to Rudy's videos because he does business at a very high level, significantly higher level than me, and he clearly has much better relationships with his distros. I missed a call from one of my distros today, and then he sent me a text. And this is pertinent to you, Open Mango, because let's see, where is it? Yeah, right there. So 2 Fusion World sets were available for pre-order for me, and my distro texted me, and I don't know what the hell they were. He said one is a specialty set and one is a story set, like a regular set, I guess that is. I pre-ordered 120 of each, which I believe is 10 cases, or maybe it's 20 cases. I think Dragon Ball Super is going to be, is it Super or Fusion World? I don't even know what I ordered, honestly. I ordered 120 Fusion World. I ordered 120 of 2 different Fusion World sets. And because of Open Mango, way back in like February, I believe, I ordered something. I ordered 120 of something for September. So I don't know what it is. I don't know what it's pre-ordering for. I don't know if I'm going to make money or lose money. But because of Open Mango, and actually we've DM'd some, I will hold true to my word that I said in DMs. I will give you some amount of that product at MSRP, even if it's 10 times MSRP, because a very large reason why I ordered it is because Open Mango was in my chats talking about it, and 120 boxes in 10 cases. So yeah, if I was destroyed from that financially, I wouldn't have sent an invoice. I wouldn't have sent a bill to Open Mango, but I'm tying him into the upside for being on the pump there. I'm going to scroll back up. I'm going to make sure I don't miss starring anything. And yeah, the two new 30th UPCs, I love everything I've seen so far from the 30th. I know a lot of people are back and forth on that. So some people love the stamps and some people hate them, and some people think it's trash, and some people thought Celebrations was trash. I'm a basic Kanto kid. Put the 100th Charizard reprint on a card and put the little 30 on the Pikachu's cheeks, and I'm all about it. Special 3-card mini packs like the first partner series packs within the Celebrations UPC too for classic collection cards. That's wild. I'm gonna have to buy a bunch of those. How is everyone doing tonight? I'm starting more questions. Dan, people are mad at 30th GameStop prices, but is it possible these will be the cheapest entry points for the majority of people? I don't one, I don't know if all that's true. 2, if it is, it feels like it would still be subject to change. When does the 30th anniversary set come out? It feels like it's getting pretty close, but we Pitch Black hasn't come out, and people are already losing their minds. Like, people just always need to be fired up over something. It's not coming out until September 16th. 2026. Like, guys, let's enjoy our summer slowdown. Why do we got to be fired up and going crazy about the 30th prices that may or may not end up happening? Presumably, if the market were to do crazy things in between now and then, I think they would change their numbers. I think they would ebb and flow with the market's ebbs and flows. But 600 for the UPC. This is one thing I've been saying for a long time, and I will continue saying it. This UPC above me is $1,000. People keep saying, oh, well, Ascended Heroes, and I know I'm going to talk about a couple different SKUs here, a couple different products, but the logic holds and the reasoning is there. People say like, oh, well, the Celebrations UPC is $1,000, and that set is ass. The 30th anniversary set is so much better. Best set of all time. Worst case scenario, it's going to be $1,000 in 3 years, right? If that was true, spoiler, it's not. Like, the worst case scenario is definitely lower than $1,000 for the 30th anniversary UPC in 3 years. But if that were true, you should pay $600 day one. If Ascended Heroes ETB's worst case was $500 in 3 years, like tons of people say and believe, you should be paying $300 for Ascended Heroes ETBs today. I'm not saying that that's true. All the dummies are saying that's true. But if that was true, $600 is reasonable. I don't think that's true. I don't think 600 is reasonable. But what the hell do I know? I thought Dustin would go under MSRP, so I'm a dummy. I'm a dummy too, right? We're all dummies. It's 109 degrees in Pennsylvania. I haven't gone outside for 3 days. That's crazy. It is very hot. It is very hot here in upstate New York as well. I'm a twist guy. I'm very secure in my masculinity. And when I go, my go-to order when I go to the ice cream place, I'm not ashamed to say this at all. My go-to order is a kid-size twist with rainbow sprinkles. When I said kid-size, you thought it couldn't get much worse. And then I made it a twist with rainbow sprinkles. That is my go-to ice cream order. So let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat, what is your go-to ice cream order? That is mine. If I don't go with that, it would be like a chocolate milkshake. But that is S tier. S tier. Thank God Dan is actually saying it. I don't know what I said, but probably talking about the summer slowdown, maybe. I don't know. Dan ever being liquid cap. I intend to be as liquid as I've ever been. There's a certain like vanity number that I want to see in my bank account that I saw the biggest number ever in my bank account like 2 months ago. I helped middleman. I helped facilitate a very, very high-end deal. And it resulted in me receiving money and then forwarding it on, basically. I guess I don't want to get too deep into particulars, but it was the most money I've ever seen in my bank account, and I really enjoyed it for that 2 hours that was there before I wired it out. But I want to see that again, and I want it to be real. I want it to be my money. Will I get there? I don't know, but I'm going to try to get to. I'm not talking 7 figures. I'm not talking Z&G Emporium banker liquid, but I'm talking liquid. With the $250,000 line of credit fully paid off. Starting more questions as we go. Macroeconomic issues are always a risk. They're always an unknown. One thing I said in a recent video or live stream or whatever, when 2008 happened, we look today and we say the Great Depression, that was obvious. Like look at all these charts, look at all this, the PE ratio and this and that, and mortgage-backed securities and everything they said, all the fancy words they said in that movie about the 2008, The Big Short, the housing crisis. It was obvious. Look at these things and the ninja loans, and look at all this stuff. Like, it's obvious that was going to happen. It wasn't obvious when it was going to happen at the time. Hindsight, it's very obvious. We look at the chart and where it was, and 2021, 2020. Oh, Pikachu going to 1,000. It was obvious. Well, I started selling them when they were 400, 500 on the way up. I thought it was obvious that they were going to crash when they were 500, 600, 700, and then they didn't crash till over 1,000, a little over 1,000. So we're always very good at like revising our confidence in history and like, oh yeah, that was super obvious. Well, it happened, so it was obvious, but it really wasn't obvious in the time. Starting more things. Open Mango also lowering purchase percentage because the number of individuals reaching out and wanting to sell. Gotta stay liquid. How's it going, Pokiani? Love the MetaZoo interview. Hope you guys crush it. So I do have ownership, but I have no like active day-to-day. One thing too, I guess since Brian brought up MetaZoo, I'll go back and do it a little bit. They are offering a partner program, and I was a former partner of OG Zoo without ownership. I need to talk to my fellow owners. I need to talk to other people. If it's widely deemed like, Dan, you own part of the company, you cannot / should not be a partner. I won't love it, but like I will abide by morally whatever is deemed appropriate. The funny thing though, the ironic thing is that, like, again, obvious hindsight, everyone knew that MetaZoo wasn't going to do anything, and it failed, and Meta 2 and Meta 3, blah, 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 all the things that people will say. There was some world where Meta 2, New Zoo, took off. There was some world where it took off and performed very well. And if and when it took off and performed very well, and I had it in stock, if I let me reach over here. I have them just outside of reach, so I have to wheel a little bit. But say they had really taken off. Say these boxes on the open market weren't $40 or whatever. Say these things went to 400. It didn't happen, but there was a world where that could have happened. If these things went to 400 and I was selling them for 400, how much drama do you think there would have been with oh, Dan's an owner and he's scalping the product? The product that I bought through Distro, the same distro anyone else could have gotten. So, like, in my opinion, having like a reasonable, rational, logical brain, I would like to think that, like, me as an owner in MetaZoo, as long as I'm not taking them off the printer, as long as I'm not like having the printer in my living room, which obviously I'm not going to, if I become a partner to get them through the same channel that everyone else can get them through at the same price, I think that's fair play. But Zach did mention like potentially having partner promos and potentially, if people order enough, getting like a full art card with certain creators and whatever. And it's weird because, like, if I'm an owner but I'm doing all the things to check all the boxes to qualify as a regular partner would, it's an interesting conversation. But the thing is, like, it won't be drama if MetaZoo is floundering. It will be tons of drama if MetaZoo is succeeding. So it's just kind of like this weird scenario where I don't know what I'm going to do, but we'll see. Yeah, and I did send a text when I saw it on Instagram. I think I gave it a like on Instagram, and then I sent a text. But congrats to Steve at Tactical Trading First night of baby duty. Love to see another trainer enter the arena. Oh, we tried to get out of your way, Dan, but Radar was late and then just was with us for 15 minutes. So I did see another super chat come in. I appreciate you, Open Mango, Dan, the Liquid Man Collectibles. I'm gonna do my best, but I am. So last week before the mega stream, Ponga sold $178,000, $178 or $179,000 worth of stuff on Saturday night. I bought all that in the weeks leading up, and I had my line of credit right up there near $250,000 on my line of credit. I had my my bank account sub six figures. Naturally, the consignment money still flowing through and getting paid out to the consigners. I never touched that for any of the buys or anything, any of the day-to-day operations. But my liquidity was at a low for the past couple of years last week. But now this week, I had some big cards of mine selling Fanatics Collect. I had thousands of my CGC Fanatics cards hit that sold last week and the week before. They're always selling. The mega stream coming through that just hit my bank account this morning or yesterday morning maybe. I'm gonna get that late this week. I will have the line of credit fully paid off, and then over the next 3 weeks, I hope to have copy paste hot buy list for the next 3 weeks. Will I be able to? I don't know. I might need to hot buy list a couple things, but looking at my pack inventory, looking at everything for the next few weeks, I don't think I'm gonna have to hot buy anything. So I think there's a decent chance that I might be able to get the amount of. Wait for my next video. Wait for my video Monday, because I'm gonna detail how Q1 and Q2 went the first half of the year. Record numbers. It's gonna be a record year. Maybe a little bit of spoilers. I did $9.3 million last year pass through my bank account. It is already a record year. I'm saying this on July 1st. If I sell nothing, if PK Ponga, if everybody stops selling everything and not another cent hits my business bank account, it is already a record year. That is the extent to which we're booming. So cash flow is it's a flowing. So if I can stop buying for 3 or 4 weeks, do the math quickly. Like, there will be a good pile of cash in that account, and I'm looking forward to that, because then I can do some damage if we do go through a summer slowdown, if prices do kind of go down a decent bit. MSRP Chicken Little Dan is still here. Is there anything better than creating a life? I would say no. And like this, can you rip us off with MetaZoo again? I occasionally get these comments. It's like, you call me a bear. People call me a bear. I've always said, like, this stuff can all go to zero. Pokemon could go to zero. Someday in the future, this could be zero. I'm that bearish to say that from the beginning. I always said, like, this, I'm not treating it as an investment. I mean, I do have pallet setback of product, obviously. I call that a speculation, though. I am speculating in MetaZoo, in Pokemon, in all these things. But disclaimer, Dan, all the things that I say, and then I still get comments like this. I never forced anyone to buy anything. I always tell people, spend responsibly, have a budget, know what you're doing, know the risks. The risks are this stuff going to zero, especially more for MetaZoo than with Pokemon. But some people will still make them victims of me because that's the way some people are, and it's very unfortunate. It is what it is. Starting more questions. Cookies and cream is President Whale Cabal's ice cream order. Dan's ice cream order has me questioning life. A lesser man would not be able to order a kid's twist with rainbow sprinkles. A lesser man would fear others' judgment. A lesser man would worry that it was too childish or feminine or whatever. I like a twist with rainbow sprinkles, and nothing's gonna stop me from getting my twist with rainbow sprinkles. Twist equals indecisive. I don't know what it is. Our local ice cream place that we always go to, it's like almost never 50-50 chocolate vanilla. It's like 80-20. but sometimes it's 80-20 chocolate, sometimes it's 80-20 vanilla. I don't know how they go about calibrating a twist an ice cream twister machine, but theirs is on the fritz always. Let's see. Starring more now. I held my tongue about the sprinkles. Let me have it. I don't care about people's opinions. It's like if I want to enjoy some ice cream, and I think the world would be a better place. And this might segue me into the rant that I hope someone gets me into the rant that I want to have tonight, that I've kind of prepared. People worrying about what other people do, and it doesn't affect them whatsoever. Like if people genuinely, I've gone to the ice cream place and I've gotten a small or kids twisted rainbow sprinkles 50 times. I've never had anybody comment on it, but if they ever did, I would just be like, what a sad individual. I mean, a guy's just out here with his kids and his wife trying to have some ice cream, and this theoretical person that thus far hasn't existed. But the internet is a funny place. If I was in a live stream and I went to my ice cream place and I had a twist of rainbow sprinkles, I bet people, through anonymity, keyboard warriors as they call them, would feel emboldened to like talk down on me for my ice cream preference. Like, what world do we live in? What kind of people are those people that have to do things like that? Hurt people, as a wise man, Pat Flynn, once said, who I'm sure many others before him said it. But it relates to a thing that I might rant about later tonight. But it's just it's wild. It's wild why people care. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. I'm starring more questions, and then I'm going to start going through them. Don't worry, MetaZoo boxes won't be $400 a box. Can you think of any owner of any IP selling their cards on the side? I'm trying to think. I mean, I don't know who owns all these various card games, but a lot of them do sell directly on their websites and stuff, but that's like the company doing it. I mean, at the end of the day, again, if it's deemed by other people, the owners especially, that I shouldn't do it, then I won't. But it's just ironic. Like I did it with the original 3 new Zoo sets, and it wasn't an issue because the boxes didn't do well. But I promise you, I guarantee, Dan bringing out the G word, if these boxes had done something, and if they do in the future, it will be a very dramatic thing that I'm an owner and I'm selling MetaZoo cards. We'll just leave it there. Would you trade a Destin Rebels booster case for some silver? No, I would sell things and buy things. Trading is just money was invented for a reason. Trading is just a pain in the butt. Meta poo, dump it all and go into Phantasmal Flames. No, I don't think I will. Starring. Well, now I feel personally attacked. What if your order was the last bit of sprinkles and the kid behind you can't get sprinkles? So I can visibly see the bucket of sprinkles. It's interesting. I think more places do it this way now. Years ago, the place I used to get ice cream at, they had a little like, I didn't think we were going to be going here in tonight's live stream, but I mean, it's summertime and we're booming and we're talking about ice cream sprinkles. But they had it was like a paddle wheel thing that brought the sprinkles around up to the top. The ice cream person would put the ice cream in there, and the rainbow sprinkles would like rain down upon them, and they'd turn it and it would be done. My current place now, and we have a few places we go to. There was a place near the t-ball field, baseball field. We'd go there sometimes, but they have like a Tupperware dish thing of sprinkles, and they just like jam the cone in there. I don't know if they would get away with that on a large. I think the large would like tip over, but I order the kid size, so they can just jam the cone in the sprinkles. If I ever saw that they were like running low on sprinkles, I would save the sprinkles for the children because I'm a decent human being. But yeah. I'm gonna hire a guy to heckle Dan every time he buys ice cream. I will continue. Trading is for poor people. Oh man. I think I'm fully caught up with starring questions. So I have 17 starred questions. If you asked one, I did not miss it. I just started. I did skip a couple to the front of the line that were paid, like this one. I already did that one, so let me unstar that. But yeah, there's one more starred one. So there's the paid ones flashing back on. If you want to skip the line, starts at $1. Pizza or hamburger, which is better? I eat pizza a lot more. I do love a good hamburger. You can do so many things with both. Like I love a good plain pizza, pepperoni, buffalo chicken. There's a lot of variety in the pizzas that I can eat. And then same goes for hamburger. The most recent hamburger I had was a breakfast hamburger. I had a fried egg and bacon on the hamburger. Actually, at my ice cream joint, the last day of school, I went to the ice cream joint. They have like fried foods and grill type foods, and so the last day of school to celebrate with the kids, we went and got some eats and some ice cream there. But I would go pizza, but they are both solid. Pizza S tier, hamburgers solid A tier. When am I going to shave it all off again? I'm gonna be cutting my hair tomorrow or the next day probably. I just need to do it sometime. I don't go anywhere. I just do it myself, which is probably evident by what it is and how it looks. But going back into the whole, I don't care. Dan, are you able to bring back old backs? I'm not able to do anything. Zach Gem at Pokemon is the managing member of MetaZoo. I have no I have no design calls or shots or anything like that. I do have voting rights. So like I was in an ownership meeting. We voted unanimously to elect Zach basically as like the new managing member moving ahead. And Zach details a bunch of the reasons as to why. And I'm not going to get into all that because Zach is the guy. Dan, for someone looking to buy a home, navigate your thought processes and how much to allocate to your mortgage versus Pokemon, etc. Grandma's house with lots of Pokemon or chat home, but broke, etc. I think two of the biggest mistakes that people make, and I don't ever allow or intend to allow myself to make them, is they make themselves house poor and or car poor. Maybe it's just anecdotes, but like I've seen some data, I've listened to some other finance type content and podcasts where I think this is very much the case. Very lengthy comment, so it's covering part of my face. So I'm gonna I guess I could sit higher. But the bank will give you enough rope to hang yourself with. Sorry for the kind of morbid analogy or whatever, but it is true. There's all these like rules of thumb for 30, 20, 10, 30, like what percent of your income you should have towards your house and your car and your whatever else. I don't like rules of thumb because everyone's personal finances are very personal and very different. But all I know is when I went to the bank, when I was 23 years old and I was going to get my first mortgage, and I told them my income, they pulled their credit report, they did all the things, and they told me how much house I could afford. And I had done the math on my own. And people don't do this. I'm a strange guy. Some people do this, but like the vast minority of people. I went in and I went in knowing what my budget was. I knew the cap on what I was going to spend. I bought a house for a little over $100,000, and they would have approved me for about $250,000. They would have approved me for over double what I spent. And I know that had I spent that, things would have been significantly tighter than I would have liked them to be. And most people, you know how much most people, do you know how much most people spend on a car? Every penny the bank will give them. You know how much most people spend on a house? Every penny the bank will give them. And I think I think it's going back to the ninja loans, going back to 2008. It should be criminal what some of the banks do at times, and I'm very much personal responsibility, and people should be able to do whatever. And but like the banks being bailed out after all the borderline criminal things that they were doing back then. I think they're doing a lot of that again right now. I think they've done a lot of that since days later after the 2008 crash. But so my personal thing for me, I'm not saying this should be for everyone. I think a lot more people would be happy though, because one thing, like if you spend that extra 1,000, 2,000 a month on your mortgage, that's 1,000, 2,000 a month you can't spend going to the Rangers game, going like whatever you enjoy doing, going and getting your kids twist with rainbow sprinkles. You might have to forego the rainbow sprinkles if you get an extra 100 square foot, 200 square foot, 500 square foot, 1,000 square foot in your house. A lot of people in this, not the intended rant for the night, but people say the American dream is dead and blah 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 in the 50s and the 80s and the whatever year they want to pick, decade they want to pick. Look at the average house size. It is actually disgusting. The amount of excess, the amount of waste, the amount of just like I know anecdotally, I know so many people that are just miserable financially because they way overbought house, they way overbought car, because they literally took every penny the bank would give them. And I know that would be a mistake for me. I am like I'm living in a house that I bought for mid ones, and I had to put like 50 grand into it because it was a short sale. So I've got a little over 200 grand in my house right now. I could sell this, and right now the bank would probably give me nearly 7 figures to buy a house, and I could afford, by some of the rules of thumb, by some of the metrics, I could afford $1 million house right now. You won't catch me dead. Like no way I'm buying $1 million house ever. My house is a couple thousand square feet, and that's so much space. There's so much room for activities. Not quite to run the business that I'm running right now. That's why I'm going to be building a warehouse this summer. But I think I covered everything. But yeah, I would go in between, always fence sitter Dan. I would not spend every penny the bank will give you. I would not buy, like, my first house was too small. It was a starter home. We always knew we wanted 2 kids. We had 1 kid there. We were planning for our second one. So we're like, we either need to put 50 grand into this house to build an addition, to do whatever. And we actually drove by it the other day. The couple who bought it from us, they put an addition on it, and they did all the things we would have had to do. But instead we opted to buy a bigger house, buy a newer house, for various reasons, but well within our means, significantly under our means. I'm going to start some more questions. Dan is the one person that buys the baby Frosties at Wendy's. So I get a small. When I go to Wendy's, I get a small Frosty. My kids get juniors though. My kids get junior Frosties. I have you can donate like $3 or something, and you can get like a Frosty key tag, so that every time you go with a purchase, you get a free junior Frosty, free, that you paid for one time up front. But yeah, my kids get juniors, and my wife and I get smalls. But yeah, I paid $3 for, like, I've probably gotten like 10 junior Frosties off that thing by now. I've been there. I've been to the Cornell Creamery. I'm a ways from there, but I've been there. Very familiar. Bacon cheeseburger cancels out the wimpy ice cream order. Bacon egg cheeseburger. I do see people have prompted me for the rant, so it seems like we'll get there later. But I'm gonna go in order. Yeah, and honestly, like, this is probably extremely unpopular opinion. This would probably have bad ramifications on the economy. Honestly, like, if this were enacted overnight, if I was in charge of everything, you should not be able to buy a house, in my opinion, with 0% down, 3% down, 5% down. Now, first-time home buyer, all the things they try to do to, like, make it more accessible. They argue on accessibility. They argue on helping people achieve the American dream. I think they enable the American nightmare. I think the American nightmare is you buy too much house, you buy too much car. I think the single leading cause of divorce, I think, is finances. And fact check me on that. Maybe it's not, but I think it's one of the top ones, and I think it's the top one. But so many people finance their wedding, and they finance more house than they can afford. They finance more. Like, the American dream is a nightmare because they're just spending more than they earn and going backwards, compounding working against them, paying interest. And when compounding works for you, aside from Pokemon, it works for you to the tune of 7 to 10% per year. When compounding works against you, it works against you to the tune of 10 to 20, 30% a year, right? Credit cards and all that stuff. Oh, definitely try fried egg on your burger. It's the way to go. 100K for a house. I paid 100 for the patio in my backyard. So I bought my first house in 2013. It was a little over 100 grand. It was a bit of a fixer upper. I put like 20 something into that one. And that was like with my own sweat equity. That was me, my dad, some familial help that was very subsidized and or free for sure. San Antonio has brand new homes for 140K just by cash. I could never live in one of those. I'm assuming it's like a cookie cutter, one of those brand new developments. I mean, brand new for 140K, that's cool. But like the cookie cutter, every house on the street is the same, and like HOA, I couldn't do that. I am not happy with myself not having been able to dunk a basketball. I apologize. Let's see. Is Dan going to Collecticon, New Jersey? I'm going to pull up the Collecticon schedule right now. Is there a Collecticon Jersey like very soon? No, I'm definitely not going to that one because I'm camping with my son in the Cub Scouts. So unfortunately, my schedule just doesn't work with the New Jersey in the summer. I think I might be able to do the November 21st, 22nd one, but I'm not certain yet. Let me check my schedule. It's currently open, so I might be able to do that one the weekend before Thanksgiving. But yeah, my only Collecticon might be Charlotte. Maybe New Jersey. The second one will be my second, but it's a lighter year on Collecticons for me. In what ways do you interact with the hobby that are not driven by a financial incentive? Do you have a hard time compartmentalizing this? Most of the things in my background are not a financial incentive. I haven't started using them yet, but I want to use them. Like this is not financial incentive. When I go to shows lately, it's really not financial incentive. I interact with the hobby in a lot of ways. I play Pokemon Go, not for financial incentive. I guess the hobby, I'm defining that as Pokemon. Obviously, Pokemon Go is not TCG, but if you're calling TCG, if you're like, I don't know what you're defining as the hobby. Collecting Pokemon, everything behind me fits. Buying all the merch, buying all the different things that I buy, going to the shows and helping my kids with their binders, building their collections. Like I don't have a hard time compartmentalizing it. Maybe I do. I guess it depends on how you define it. When I go to a show and I'm looking for the last 20 Pokemon my son needs for his Pokédex binder, I'm also glancing at the higher end slabs and the higher end sealed, and I'm picking up business cards and I'm following people on Instagram and I'm chatting. So I'm doing some business while doing the other stuff too. But overall, like financially, like I think I'm good at like, well, I don't set much of a budget. The chair comes out, which it is a business chair. This is my business setup, my office. But the Legos come out, I buy those. Like I buy a lot of stuff. As a consumer, as a collector boy. Do you think it's possible that 90% of Pokemon breakers are actually losing money and operating at a loss? 90%, no. But do I think that like half of live streamers are losing money? Potentially. And one thing that you need to define too is like I could just take my whole allocation and I could just sell it into the market for 95% of market through these various consignment operations. And am I making tons of money with respect to what I could just liquidate this stuff for in the open market? I'm doing pretty well. Our margins are pretty solid. But there's a lot of operations where they're making money, but they're not making any more money than they could just dumping the stuff into the market. Now they're consciously they're building a brand, they're building a platform, whatever it may be, potentially. But yeah, absolutely. I think a large portion of breakers could be losing money right now, operating at a loss, but 90% is way too high, in my opinion, at least. But if it was half, it wouldn't be shocking. Question: Storm Emeralda releases in Japan July 31st. We don't get Delta Rain in English till November 6th. How do you think the long time between releases will affect each set? I guess Japan gets a couple months to shine on its own. It's so far out. Like I don't think too hard about it. When the Japanese set has so much longer, I'll probably stock a bit more of the Japanese set just because it will have that extra time. But so much unknown that I don't like dive too deeply into it. Let's say there's a slowdown. Do you think that has any impact on vintage, and would that impact the way you source and buy Grail slabs for the streams? Yes, it would impact them through me buying them at a lower percentage. But I wouldn't stop buying them. I guess if the market on the vintage slabs came down 30%, maybe I'll start buying them at 75, 80%. The only reason that I would stop selling them, if I auction a $2,000, $3,000 slab, vintage, modern, anything, if I get hammered multiple times in a row where I get 50% of market, 40% of market, I'm going to stop selling it. So if the market communicates to me like, Dan, we don't value that, and there's certain things that like I found that I can't really auction on the live streams, that would impact it. But if the prices just go down and I'm able to buy at a lower percentage and they still sell at a reasonable percentage, like I continue, if that makes sense. Justin says, hey, Dan, I hear it every 2 minutes. Ascended Heroes will get the prismatic treatment. Thoughts on this? If it doesn't happen, it might not given the environment. Prismatic treatment being like tons of reprints. I think it will, but it also might not. So I have some inventory. If it does get the prismatic treatment, I'll be glad that I kept a fairly lean inventory. If it doesn't, then I'll wish I had bought more, right? It'll go up higher, but like, I don't like this is what, in my opinion, falls into noise. I don't know what's going to happen with it. A lot of people live their lives in the noise. Ascended versus prismatic versus evolving versus destined, like all these unknowns. What's going to get a reprint when, what's not, all these different things. It's like, I don't know and I don't care. I spend my time where I have good information. I know if I buy slabs at 75, 80, 85, 90%, and I sell them over here for 5% net higher, I know that I can make 5% on 10 grand or 5% on $1,000 or 5% on 100 grand here. I'm doing business. I'm in the business of doing business. I'm not in the business of living in the noise and all the speculation and the he said, she said, and this might happen and that might happen. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. So I don't really spend a lot of energy there. My sugar mama just put it in her 2 weeks to be a stay-at-home mama. I will be supplementing her 75K income from Pokemon. Any recommendations on changes you would make if you were in my shoes? So I will be switching to an S Corp to take advantage of the benefits of taking a reasonable income as an S Corp, but I'm exploring other ways to increase monthly Pokemon income. Any thoughts? If she is materially participating in the business, look into putting her on the payroll as well, paying her a reasonable salary. She needs to actually be partaking in duties towards the business. But yeah, potentially, I don't know if you do the buckets at all, but there's the opportunity to do 401k IRAs and things for her through that as well. Other than that, I'm exploring other ways to increase monthly Pokemon income. So you'll be staying full time, but you're looking ways. I mean, there's so many things out there. I don't know what you have time or desire to do. Like here's a public example of something. And I'm not saying this is right for you, but just a demonstration of what someone else is doing. Greenie mentioned that like his wife was a stay-at-home mom at some point, and I think the kids are older now and in school or whatever. She was thinking about going into the workforce, and they opened jointly like sealed shiz consignments. They opened an operation where they're, and again, like I don't know if your wife has desire to do that, you have a desire to do that, but there's so many options. There's so many things you can do. You can look into grading more. You can look into vending occasionally with or without her help. You can look into tons of different things, but like potentially getting her on payroll if she's participating, that's a big potential gain there tax wise. Dan, why are streamers operating at a loss? I just got accepted to eBay Live. Should I be worried? If you started eBay Live fresh, how would you? I would do it the same way I did it. I would let dollar auctions fly. I would let them fly. I would be fully ready and prepared. When I started Fanatics Live, I told PK and Ponga I was ready to lose over $100,000. Maybe I told them 50. Maybe I told them 50, but like I was ready and willing to lose many 5 figures, maybe even low 6 figures, to establish a foothold, to just build the brand, build the name, get the foothold, get the consumer base. And I would have only done that. I would have monitored it closely. I would have made sure it was like progressing towards profitability. But that's a common theme amongst most businesses. Most businesses lose money for the first X amount of time, right? That didn't really happen with Fanatics. We let high-end auctions rip. We did everything, and we started profitable very quickly. Same thing with eBay Live. So I would do exactly what I did. I would sell a diversity of like good stuff, and I would just let it fly for $1. It's not going to be super easy. I came from having a YouTube following and an Instagram following. I came from multiple years, 7-figure business. I came with a lot of no debt, a lot of foundational security, a lot of runway that I gave myself. I don't know your situation, but some people operate at a loss. One, they don't even know they are. They're making so much money from their allocation coming in that they don't even realize they're losing money. Some people are losing money intentionally, thinking that 3 months, 6 months, a year down the line, once they grow, they'll grow into profitability, which many people do. So some people are just doing it as like a hobby, and they're selling off their excess cards. They're losing money over how they could sell it otherwise, but they enjoy it. So like there's 50 reasons why some people might be operating at a loss, all the way from like they're doing it intentionally, consciously, or they have no clue they're doing it, or they're doing it and they don't care. Like it's a big combination of full-time operations and part-time side hustlers and part-time hobbyists. And we've got Mason in chat too. We've got Mason in chat. Here's actually his answer too, because a lot of them are very bad business people. The same reason this is, so I didn't see this comment, and I was going to comment about Mason's former videos. People will sell a card on TCG Player for 15 cents thinking they're making money. Like Mason's made videos before venting into the ethos about how crazy some of people's floors are and some people's shipping rules, and TCG Player, to save people from themselves, have raised the floor on how low you can go with shipping and how low you can go with certain different pricing. And I don't know in depth because I don't sell myself on TCG Player. Skya fulfills all my TCG Player. But I've listened to Mason's videos before where like some people are just doing this for fun / and/or they're so bad at business that they just like, they think they're making money, but they don't know. Maybe they grade cards and they live stream. There are probably I'm entirely making this up, but it wouldn't shock me if this is the case. There are probably people that are making $10,000 a month net grading Pokemon cards, or $10,000 a month net from just they're getting an allocation from their distro that's worth 10 grand above market net per month. And then they're live streaming negative $2 grand a month net without realizing it. They see the whole picture that they're profiting 8 grand a month net. They assume they're making 2 grand a month from streaming and 6 grand a month from grading or whatever. And that's how crazy it is out here. Like some people are running that blind. And to be honest, I kind of like, I call out other people for how crazy some of their operations are. My consignment is very easy for me to just say, like, I know exactly how much I make when somebody consigns a card with me. CGC Fanatics, the regular consignment, it's very, very easy. Very, very easy math. So other than that though, PK and Ponga, like how much does each one of them make me, and how much, I don't know the exact numbers. And I know that there are certain streams, certain weeks, certain months probably, where I send stuff to DC Sports and Arizona TCG, and there's probably individual months where like I just get wrecked on stuff, and I lose money on some stuff here and there. So some of what I was saying a minute ago, saying how silly and crazy it was that people do that, to some extent I do that. I know what my consignment makes me. I know I know overall I'm making good money overall. But am I spending hours every week trying to figure out how much was grading and how much was live streaming and how much was eBay and Fanatics? And I'm not micromanaging that. But yeah, there's a lot of people that think they're making money just because they're making sales. They don't stop to actually do the math. And then like I'm semi in that subset of people to some extent, not to the crazy extent where like I'm not hemorrhaging that bad anywhere from what I can tell. But But yeah, for sure. Like that is a thing. That is a thing. How many 30th UPC pre-orders do you think GameStop will fulfill? I have no clue. I have no clue the scale of their operation or anyone else's really. Oh, and I was just about to answer your question for free, but you had if you were starting over on eBay Live, how would you do it? My niche is vintage, but sourcing is rough. People are declining market price offers. Yeah, I honestly don't know. If I was starting from scratch, and I don't know if you're starting from scratch. I don't know if you have an Instagram following or a YouTube channel. I don't know what you're starting with exactly. But like, to be honest, it would probably be hard to make the margins make sense. People who don't have the foothold in the marketplace and 12 years of history and experience in the marketplace and the connections. Two things. They're paying a higher fee than I am on these platforms, and they're likely sourcing not as well. They're probably paying more money. So they're paying more money on the front end and they're paying more money on the back end. So their margins are super squeezed. It's just a reality of the market that we're in. But I would give it a shot at least. I would give it a shot. I would let things fly. I would try to rip some packs, buy it now. That way you set your margin. You know if it sells, you're making money. But maybe eBay Live is not the thing. Maybe it's vending. Maybe it's just selling on eBay proper. Maybe it's, I don't know. It could be a whole host of different things. As I always say, I would throw everything at the wall, see what sticks. I only have a few more questions. Wait, did I skip a bunch? Let me make sure I didn't skip a bunch. Thanks, Mason Dan. I don't expect to make money the first few months, hoping to build business, foothold, community, like you said, since I plan to be in this hobby forever. Yeah, and one great thing is like unlike 12 years ago, you can tune in to like people that have been around for a long time. You can tune in and get answers from people that have been there. Like right now, shout out to Mason in the chat, offering up his email address, offering up like, hey, ask me questions, answering the questions in my live stream as I'm answering the questions as well. It's such an open and accessible space. There's so many people willing to help, and along the way, I've definitely done my fair share of helping, my fair share of being helped as well. So yeah, give it a shot. I would say, as I said in my video a few months ago, try a little bit of everything and see what works. See what you enjoy. Let's see. Do you know anything about the upcoming documentary about early Japanese cards and merchandise other than what's in the trailer? This one. So I don't think you're allowed to post links. I am vaguely aware of what you're talking about. It's going to sound very mysterious, and it's going to sound like, oh, Dan, no. I don't know a lot. I know a little bit more than I can say, but I'm not trying to say it in this way like, oh, I know all this cool secret information that you don't. I know very minimally some of what is going on with that, just because I have been entrenched and around the hobby for a long time, and I chat with a lot of people that have been around for a long time, and I'm definitely aware in advance of certain happenings. A lot of them I'm not at all, but like when the PSA 10 Illustrator was going to auction, I had heard that through the various grapevines. Some of what's going on in this, I've heard through various grapevines. Some of which I'm supposed to hear, and some of which maybe I'm not supposed to hear. Like that's just the way information goes. But honestly, like nothing crazy juicy. I'm not like acting on any big plays or anything with respect to that. How do you keep track of all your finances and taxes with so many different revenue streams and things constantly coming in and going out? At the end of the day, it's mostly just spreadsheets. It's fairly simple, even though there are 8 figures of capital flowing in and flowing out and going every direction. If you pull it out into a CSV and you've got a handful of CSVs, it's not that daunting with pivot tables and with all different kinds of chat GPT assisted creation of summaries and charts, and it's not that bad. Sometimes I pen and paper. Sometimes it's like, okay, things are a little bit tight. I want to buy this collection. I want to buy that collection. I'm running the mega stream where I'm going to get somewhere between 150 and 200K, and that money's going to land on this day, and trying to allocate like it. Sometimes it's old fashioned pen and paper, mapping it out. But for the most part, it's just all spreadsheets and stuff. Let's see. Oh, no. You're entirely fine. And he asked the chat. I wasn't trying to do your job for you. I was not offended. I was not upset with you. And I was not thinking you were trying to do my job. I did see. So there was a progression. He asked me, but he was in first in, first out. I actually abide by first in, first out, unlike our favorite grading card companies, all of them. He asked it for free, and then he asked chat, and then he super chatted, and I got to his super chat before I got to his free one. So yeah, I saw though that you were answering his question to chat. Entirely fine. Even if he didn't ask it to chat, people can chat whatever they like. All the build out of rip and shippers and the foundations of that are solid. There aren't enough cards to satisfy demand because only a few good cards are released each year. But we have 30 years of good cards in the past as well. I started going to multiple local shows and was surprised at how many expensive gradable cards I was able to grade. How consistently viable has it been for you finding gradable cards at shows? That's not something I've ever really done. I know a lot of people who do it extremely successfully. I don't want to go rummage through binders. I don't want to go condition check cards. I barely pre-grade cards at home in my current setup, in this current environment. I don't want to do it when I'm at shows. So I know a lot of people who do it well, who do it successfully, but I'm just not one of them. For lack of trying. I just have not tried. I could probably succeed with it if I tried. For vintage, if the terminal point for a card is a forever binder and consignment is essentially a great filter machine, sourcing tons of them near mint, light play, graded supply, what happens when the float disappear? This is a big, fancy, interesting question. So eventually, and I think we're significantly more there than we were 10, 12 years ago. 10, 12 years ago, one of my bits of bread and butter, one of my like core functions in the space, I would go on eBay and I would search for complete Fossil first edition. I would search for complete Jungle first edition. I would search for complete Neo first. I would search, like, I would buy near mint pack fresh complete binder sets of Fossil and Jungle first edition, $300. Complete base unlimited sets, complete all different kinds of sets. It was crazy. And those exist still to some extent. Significantly less, though. Significantly less. And that's why 7s, 8s, and 9s are significantly more expensive today than they were back then. And grading is more expensive, and the hobby's grown. But eventually, the vintage boxes will run out. Eventually, the vintage gradables will run out. They'll never, like, go to zero. But they will diminish greatly, and they have. And they'll be significantly more greatly diminished in the coming years, I believe. And then what will the prices do? What happens when the float disappears? If the demand is still there, if the demand is still growing, prices can go up very, very quickly. And they're actively doing that. They actively did that 5 years ago. There's good arguments to be made that there could be a long ways to run up in the future. I am short on plastic, but I am long on cardboard. Don't forget to like the video. Appreciate you, Boondock. Just go for it and have your stop loss in mind. Worst case at the moment is you go back to collecting and only make 4 times every 6 months. Yeah. So this is one of the ones that I had like prepared myself to do a big epic rant. Let me know in the chat. I saw the $2,500 course or masterclass or whatever it was, whatever it wasn't. I think my opinion is very much in the minority. But I normally do not go and engage with the drama channels. I normally do not like doom scroll Instagram and Instagram stories. So background, Jar Chomp and Oyama. And one thing that I'll preface this with too, I consider them both friends. I've met them both in person. I've been on their channel. Someday I'll probably ask them if they want to come on Pokey Flips or on my channel or whatever. We hung out at their house, and we'll probably hang out at my house sometime too. But I like to think that I'm very capable of separating my biases and whatever. And if and when one of my friends or somebody in the hobby ever did something really worthy of negativity, I would not be. And I would hope people would do the same for me. I'm not the kind of toxic friend that's like, if I go do something dumb and start some fight, I expect you to have my back, because I'm the toxic kind of friend that's like, oh, friends have got to have their friends back. Or toxic family is even worse, where, oh, we're blood, so I can be a terrible person and do terrible things, and you have to stand by me. I am not that. I don't expect that of my friends, and I wouldn't do that for my friends either. I would not have your back if you do something really bad, something really stupid. So all that up front, I think it is the biggest nothing burger whatsoever. Ironically, I'm gonna do the thing. What was I talking about earlier? Oh yeah, me with my kids cone vanilla or twist ice cream with rainbow sprinkles. It is so weird. It is so weird how people feel the need to insert themselves into situations that they're not involved in and that have no effect on them. For people to feel like they need to be the police. Now this is a very big disclaimer I have to add. When people are outright scamming, when people are lying, cheating, stealing, when people are infringing upon others' rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, people should be calling them out. People should be doing things. But the thing I'll ask here, Blake's Breaks, the victims were the live stream buyers. People resealing packs, people piping packs, people doing all these things. There are tangible victims. The victims are the people who are being robbed of money. Indirectly, they're being robbed of the chance, the fair chance at a product, whatever it may be. That is an illegal crime. Even if it wasn't illegal, it would be highly immoral and wrong. Lying, cheating, stealing. Again, easy. If someone's selling a course, whether it's for $25 or $2,500 or $25,000, it's fine to not be a buyer of that. I don't buy all the YouTube masterclasses. I don't buy all the different things. But like, why does everyone feel the need to put themselves as the moral police or whatever, and they're bad for the hobby and they're wrong and they're only in it for the money? Well, one, ironically, they're businesses. They're in it for the money. I wouldn't say they're only in it for the money. They got into it because it was a passion, a hobby, a joy, a love, like it was for me, and it evolved into a business. But I think they're well within their rights to sell a masterclass or whatever for $2,500. And if you don't want to buy it, just don't buy it. It is so weird. Ironically, I appreciate and understand the irony of me saying all this. I am not affected by other people getting all dramatic over not being affected by the master classes that are taking place. But the arguments are just such shit. The arguments are so bad. Should I, I haven't done this in so long. We're due. I'm gonna parental. When I do the red light transition, I need to have like parental discretion advised. Let me do the thing. Oh no, is it not set up? So people inserting themselves into these situations where they're not affected. There's no victim. There are adults with personal responsibility who are choosing to spend their money how they see fit. And I did take some notes here. Very rarely do I take extensive notes, but I have a half a page of Google Sheets notes here. Who cares? I care enough to make this rant about it. I'm not affected by this, so I appreciate the irony. But who the hell cares? I wrote a meaner word than that. Maybe I'll say it later, but who the hell cares? Who's the victim? There are adults choosing to seek experts' thoughts and opinions and guidance in a space where serious money is being made. I said in the video several months ago that I know more people making $250,000 plus in this space today, and that was several months ago. We're booming harder now than we were then. I knew of more people making $250,000 plus then than I did making $100,000 5 years ago in the last boom in 2021. When I said that, I said $250,000 was conservative. I know of several people netting $1 million plus. I know of several dozens of people making $500,000 plus net, not gross, not GMV, not 90-day, net profit. And now IRS, I'm going to talk about that in my video Monday, how dumb the whole net versus gross argument is, and how people, oh, well, Dan made a video about $9.3 million in sales, and that's a big number, and that hurts my feelings. And most people, I guess I'm going to semi-do the rant for Monday. Most people that cry about GMV not meaning anything, they just have fragile egos, and they don't like that someone else has a big number, and maybe they're doing bigger things and more things than them. And whether or not, like, what their net is, who the hell cares? It doesn't affect you. But at the end of the day, we are in a space, like it or not, it's just a simple stated fact. There is serious business taking place. And two, the people who make these commentary channels, some of them are making six-figure plus incomes. They're making six-figure plus incomes, like riling up their following, and just like, in my opinion, and this is where the red lights come in too. In my opinion, the drama channels are wasting their viewers' time, turning them into crybaby victims, and that is more damaging than selling a $2,500 course in a market, in a space. I promise you too, there are people today netting multiple six figures a year in Pokemon that 6 months ago were just joining the hobby. I bet you cohort 1, cohort 2, cohort 3, maybe they'll raise their price to $5,000 for cohort 3. Who knows? There will be people that come out of those that net multiple six figures a year. I am as confident as I can be. That is how hard we're booming. And for people to take exception to that, for people to like get riled up over it, and it's one thing, the average, and this is going to be kind of mean, but like some people need to hear it. And I don't want to be too mean though. Everyone is here for a different reason. We are all in the same arena of Pokemon, but we have very different goals. We have very different rules we're playing by. We're playing different games, blah, blah, blah. Some people's game is I'm a drama channel, and I'm going to say dramatic drama things, and I'm going to be a crybaby victim on behalf of all my viewers that are crybaby victims, and I'm going to make six figures, wasting everyone's damn time, in my opinion. To be fair to them, the game that they're playing is I'm a drama llama. I watch all these shows on TV, this reality TV. And, hey, YouTube man, hey, YouTube woman, dance for me. Do dramatic things. Get me all fired up. Like, a lot of people's goals when they turn on YouTube is simply to be entertained. Are you not entertained? Most people, to be fair to them, they don't care to make money. They don't want to make money. But, like, if other people have aspirations to make money and they want to go seek the help and aid and assistance and guidance of proven professionals, and I don't know, outside looking in, if I had to guesstimate where Jar Chomp and Oyama rank in the hierarchy of like net income, they're making six figures. I'm going to promise you that publicly. They've both talked about the jobs that they left, and so they're definitely making six figures. Are they making $250,000 a year, $500,000 a year, $1 million a year? I don't know for sure, but I have a pretty good estimation of where they're at on that spectrum. And somebody paying $2,500 to get like specific one-on-one guidance from a professional in the field, like, okay, so these ethical, moral Poke Police say that $2,500 from Jar Chomp and Oyama, bad. What? Well, okay, so you're not allowed to buy that with your money. They're telling you that it's bad and dumb and you shouldn't be. The main argument is everything is available free. Well, who wants to watch some balding guy that eats kid-size Twist with rainbow sprinkles? Who wants to watch him for an hour and 45 minutes for 3 hours to get 5 minutes worth of that specific nugget that applies to them? Who wants to go wade through? Like their whole point is that everything is available free. That is why paying extra money to expedite getting to the good stuff is worthwhile. There's so much noise out there. There are so many brain dead channels that just make themselves victims to everything, that have 50,000 views of victims crying about this, crying about that when they're not affected. And you have to wade through all that bullshit to find the valuable stuff. I personally, and again, I'm biased because I sell my time too. I'm biased because I'm in the business of making money in Pokemon, which, ooh, it's gross, it's yucky, it's bad. I charge $300 an hour for my consults. You can come here and you can ask me any question you want, and I'll answer it for free. I'll answer it in order, though. You might have to wait an hour to get your question answered for free. All the information's out there for free. You got some dummies 5 years ago for free. They were guaranteeing that Vivid Voltage would never go below 300. There are dummies today who know nothing about the space that are guaranteeing X, Y, and Z. And to be fair, too, there are probably dummies like that selling courses and selling consults and all this different stuff. But at the end of the day, personal damn responsibility. If you want to buy it, you can buy it. If you don't want to buy it, you don't have to buy it. But like the commentary isn't needed. All the drama isn't needed. There are people that were happy, willing participants in cohort 1 that came out of it and they got value from it. I do consults at $300 an hour. I don't know how many hours of Jar Chomp and Oyama's time. Well, one, you get 2 people instead of 1. I don't know how much time you get from them for $2,500. I don't know if it's 10 hours and it's $250 an hour. I don't know if it's 5 hours and it's $500 an hour. I don't know if it's 25 hours and it's $100 an hour. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You don't have to buy it. I don't have to buy it. But some people will, and to some people too. Here's another thing, which is kind of ironic. I won't press too hard into identifying exactly who I'm talking about here, but $2,500. It's so much money, and I don't want to get too specific. $2,500 is so much money. Is it in this market? Like there are individual cards that are like one card that's $2,500. If you spend $2,500 poorly, you could end up losing a good portion of that. And I promise you, like the person out there that this is not even going to get to. It's ironic too, because like the people that I'm responding to will not see this, because the people that I'm responding to, and I hate response videos, I hate react videos, and I'm doing it because that's how much I hated this whole thing. They only punch up. They're not going to respond to Dan Catch 'em All Collectibles because they punch up. They punch up at Jar Chomp and Oyama. If they make a video with me in the thumbnail, with me in the title, they're not going to get as many views. They're not going to punch down. Too much logic, too much thought, too much reason here too to really try to argue. But the argument of everything is available free. Time is money. Time is valuable. I know what I make net a year in this Pokemon space, and it's a very big, stupid number. And I value my time. It doesn't apply to me. I don't need to go take a beginner intermediate Pokemon course because like I'm here and I'm doing it. But I've done $300 consults for people, and I've steered them down past that. Like I'm not trying to take responsibility for their success or whatever. But there are people that I consulted with a year ago, and then 6 months later, and 6 months later, and on a recurring basis. I have individual people that have paid me over $1,000, and I've watched them go from starting out in Pokemon. I've consulted with people who had $1 million of fun money, $1 million of play money. Hey, Dan, I want to start up a little Pokemon business. I'm going to buy $250,000 in the vintage and $250,000. Do you think $2,500 is a stupid amount of money for them to spend? Those people exist. Just because you're too broke and $2,500 a big scary number to you doesn't mean there's not a target demographic for that. Oh, well, $2,500 for a beginner course, that's too much money. That's a lot of money to me. Like, how much money do you make in ads on your video ranting and crying about something that doesn't affect you and doesn't affect your viewers? There are people out there, this will blow your mind. There are people out there that want to start business in Pokemon that have hundreds of thousands of dollars, spending a $300 an hour consult, spending a $2,500 masterclass or course, or who the hell cares, whatever they call it. Who the hell cares? It's a victimless crime. There's no victim there. There's no victim there. And honestly, over the decades, over the years ago, you probably could have found guru crypto courses and blah, blah, blah. But it just blows my mind. It blows my mind. And the thing is, too, some people, it is their job to do that. Some people make their money stirring the pot, engaging in the drama. I don't blame them. They're smart. They're smart to do it. Hey, George, hey, they got a group DM going. Jar Chomp and Oyama. 5 years ago, we were talking about paywalls. We were trashing on people doing $5, $10, $20, $25 a month Patreons. You know what Jar Chomp and Oyama did? They just did a $2,500 course. Let's get them. Their job is the drama. So, like, props to them. They're doing their thing. They got their following of all the Timmies and Dummies and whatever that I guess they're getting the entertainment. So like, there's no victim there, but some amount of those people actually want to do business in Pokemon. Some amount of those people are jealous of Jar Chomp and Oyama. And maybe Jar Chomp and Oyama, they'll probably never see this, but like they'd probably cringe at some of the things that I'm saying. They're not needing my defense. They're big boys, but it really is crazy. It really is crazy, the amount of drama. And one thing that kills me too, I saw some people that I like that do business in Pokemon. I made like $2,500. It is a lot of money. Pokemon has warped my brain when it comes to money in a lot of ways. I went to the casino a few weeks ago with Spat and Bierski. I lost $2,500 in one day. There are people that spent that to go to a World Cup game tonight and watch USA win 2-0 over Bosnia. There are people that spend that to go to dinner. There are people that go and get bottle service at the club and do all these things and spend way more than that. Some people have $100,000 cars and Rolexes and multi-million-dollar houses. $2,500 is simultaneously a lot of money and not a lot of money. So it's just so weird. It's so weird. And then let's take it further. I had to look back at my notes to prod myself back in a direction. Okay, so Poke Morality Police said $2,500 is too much to pay for a Pokemon course in a space where people are making $1 million a year net. $2,500 a month or $2,500 for a course where you might come out of it making $50,000 a year. You might be able to quit your grocery stocking job, or you might be able to leave your multi-six-figure tech job and go make multi-six figures in Pokemon where you love the space and you love the hobby and you learn how to turn it into a business. People say that's too much. So you're not allowed. Like, per the Poke Morality Police and per some, like, the people who kill me the most are people who do business and make money in the space, and then they're crapping on other people for doing this. It's like, you know how, like, I lost $2,500 at the casino a couple weeks ago when I went. I made recently, I bought a card. I bought into half a card, and I consigned half, and I owned half, and I sold it. I made over $20,000 on one card 2 weeks ago. The Eevee that I posted on my Instagram that went for $66,000 and got paid, I made over $20,000 on that one card. Not that doing this masterclass would tell you buy this Eevee, make $20,000. I'm not saying that, but like, there's so much money flowing around that like this is not unreasonable. There are people out there going back to the everything's available free. So you're not allowed to spend $2,500 on a Pokemon course per the Poke Police. Are you allowed to spend that on a nutritionist? It's like, I say this as an overweight guy. I am nearly 250 pounds again. I've been bad. I've been naughty. I'm drinking my I am still eating small twists with or kids twist with rainbow sprinkles, which I shouldn't be. But I have a $100,000 wrapper on my desk too that I shouldn't have eaten. But I'm drinking sparkling water that I made at least. I'm 250 pounds. Losing weight is so simple. There are people that will be victims of this and that and the other thing and blah, blah, blah. It's calories in, calories out. Eat less, eat better, work out more. It's very simple. It's a simple idea, but it's harder to put into practice because it's easier to be lazy and it's easier to eat $100,000 bar than a whatever, something healthy. But are you allowed to pay a personal trainer? Run down the road and run back. Pick up heavy object. Put heavy object down. Like, it's all out there for free. Should you be paying hundreds of dollars a month? Should you be paying hundreds of dollars an hour for a personal trainer? What about a nutritionist? Eat more green food. Eat less candy. Eat less fatty foods. Like, it's pretty damn easy concepts. It's all out there for free. Should you be allowed to hire a swing coach in golf? There are tons of free videos on YouTube. You can probably watch like major championship winning golfers, former and current, giving you free demos online. And some people go out and pay thousands of dollars for professional golf swing coaches. And some people don't even do that to make money. Some people do that just to learn how to play their game better and go do it as a hobby or whatever. Some people might take this course to just learn more about the space. At the end of the day, it's like, it doesn't affect me. It doesn't affect you. Who the hell cares? It's so wild to me. I don't get it whatsoever. And ironically, I appreciate the irony. I am not affected by all this drama, but to some extent, it's forced in front of me. YouTube, I did click on some videos and I watched some videos that I normally don't. Instagram, I did scroll some stories that I normally don't. But thing that shocked me was like some of the people saying it. It's like, why are you, as I insert myself into it, I'm saying to other people, why are you inserting yourself into this? Why are you taking offense to this? Somebody who's making so much money in Pokemon as well. Simultaneously while I'm thrusting myself into it, which is just so stupid. I'm mad at all of you. I'm mad at myself. I'm mad over this whole thing. And not everyone needs to have an opinion on everything. Ironically said by the guy who's inserting his unsolicited opinion into the whole space. And anything else, like, yeah. So if people aren't allowed to offer a service that, like, there is that's another thing too. It would be one thing if they offered it, nobody bought it, and they walked away, tail tucked between their legs, walk of shame. It booked. The whole thing filled. There's demand for it. So like, you have an offering that no one needs to buy. You have willing people going and buying it. You have some people that will better their lives through the professional guidance of experts in the field. And outside people are like ragging on that. Like it's so dumb. It is so dumb. What is wrong with people? What is wrong with people? It's wild. Let me scroll up and see if we had any new questions come in, or if we had any of the red light commentary. Red light. The red lights are on. Oh man, we in hell now. We are in hobby hell. We need to defund the sprinkle police. Oh my god. Oh god, where are my mods? There was a crazy comment there that I had to just moderate away. Literally the only people I heard complaining about the course were people who are likely broke and or miserable, or the channels that appeal to those people. I heard some people complaining about it that it was like it blew my mind. Like, how are you getting involved in this? How are you hating on people making money a different way, helping other people make money? It's really weird. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, not everything is free either. It doesn't matter how hard you work or if the information is free online. That won't help you build the connections. Paying the fast track connections with two of the two vendors, creators in the space is going to be worth it for tons of people. Yeah, and again, like I've answered every question. I've answered every question out there that I've been asked over the past 5 years for free, and they're all out there. Go wade through 1,000+ hours of lives, and you'll find it. Like, I'll answer it generally, but you know what I'll do? I don't have a course. I probably won't ever have a course, but like I'm not guaranteeing that I won't. I'm not against it. I do consults. My $300 an hour consult is probably more expensive per hour than their $2,500 courses. But the nice thing about a course or a consult or whatever, you tell me exactly your situation. We're not in front of everybody on YouTube. We're not in front of everybody in Discord office hours, which I'm going to do tomorrow morning. You tell me your salary and your wife's salary and how much you have in your 401k and IRA and however much you want to tell me or however little you want to tell me. And I don't tell you what to do, but I tell you what I would do and what I would think about. There are people that have done consults with me. I've said it 1,000 times on YouTube that if you're buying items intended for resale, do not pay sales tax. Go get your sales tax exemption. If you're in New York, it's called a certificate of authority. I have more than once, I have done a $300 an hour consult where I told somebody for the first time that they could be sales tax exempt on eBay, on Fanatics, on Amazon, on Best Buy, on Walmart, on all these different places if you're buying items intended for resale. Someone just heard that now and heard it for the first time for free, but someone that will pay $300, someone that will pay $10 to be on the Patreon, they'll hear it next video that I make, or they'll hear it in the next consult that we do, or they'll hear it in office hours tomorrow morning. Having specially curated towards you advice, information, whatever is extremely valuable. And 2,500 again, I'm not trying to like be mean to poor people, but like there are products out there that are not meant for you, and this might be one of them, and that can be fine. And ironically too, like again, some of those people genuinely want to make money in Pokemon, and they watch these videos and they're like, yeah, those guys are mean, those guys are dumb, like I can't believe those guys are such scammers, and they're so fake, and they're doing this and that, and they're just they're going nowhere. They want to go somewhere, and they're just taking this victim mentality. They're feeding into all the drama. They're falling prey. And again, some people are consciously desiring. They watch, I don't even know what like the popular drama shows are. Years ago, I used to watch Survivor and Big Brother, and I think there are like newer renditions of those. I think Survivor is also on its 178th season or whatever. But reality TV is scripted and fake, and a lot of those channels are fake outrage. I hope they're more fake outrage. Some of them are genuine outrage, and the people are just lost themselves. But at least they're making money doing it. But there are people that get sucked into all that negativity and drama that genuinely want to get ahead, but that whole crabs in a bucket mentality. Like, so the analogy or the whatever you call it, there's a bunch of crabs in a bucket, and they all escape is like possible. They claw their way up to the edge, and they pull themselves out and over. But the crab that tries to do that, all the crabs below are just yanking on that guy's legs in his other claw, and they're not letting the crab like get up and out and like get back to the ocean. They're sat 5 feet away from the ocean, all the liquidity, all the capital, all the money, all the stuff, and they're in here watching these drama tube Pokemon videos. Now all the other crabs at the bottom that like they've got their popcorn out, they're feasting. Their goal is to be entertained. So a lot of the crabs are happy. They're doing what they want to do. Their game, their goal is to be entertained, and they're doing it. But some people get caught up in there unintentionally. And I'm going to say this to end it all, and I'm going to go off the red lights, and I'm going to end up the live stream pretty soon. If anyone has any other unrelated questions or related, ask me. I'm going to transition out of the red light soon. But how is I going to wrap that up? I forget how. I just had a good way I was going to put a bow on it, and then I forgot. Oh, yeah. So, to some people, to some subset of people, the drama channels are actually doing more harm than all this harm that they think the $2,500 course sellers are doing. Because there are people that want to advance themselves, and they just get caught in this victim herd mentality, pitchfork mob mentality, whatever you want to call it. And there are people that genuinely believe the American dream is dead. There are people that genuinely believe that everyone out there is scammers and scalpers and whatever, and like, it's just crazy. It's crazy how people, again, with the supercomputers, with all the information in the world, some of it free, some of it curated towards you and customized towards you, and costs a little bit of money, and some people just choose to engage in a way where they don't progress anywhere. With that though, let me see if there's any red light responses, and then we'll go from there. You mad, bro? I'm not mad. It is frustrating in a way. It's frustrating in a way. Like, the people who want to be entertained, I don't care. They're being entertained. That's good. There's a demand for that content, so I'm not mad at the suppliers putting that content out, because there's way more demand for that content than for the content that I make. So, like, I fully understand that. But it is frustrating because I know those people. Anecdotally, I know some of those people. I know some people who think the American dream is dead. I know some of those people who make themselves into victims to whatever boogeyman they want. And there are some people making themselves victims every 3 times a week whenever the upload comes. This boogeyman and that boogeyman and that boogeyman. And they want to get ahead, and they never will in the cesspools that they're living in. I agree that the idea of those people acting like they're victimized by the course is not realistic, but hey, freedom of speech. You're damn right. We're going to voice our opinion. It's a cash grab. and that's like, I'm not mad at people thinking that, but like, some people are definitely trying to incite the cancellation of these people, and some people, and that's just the nature of the internet. There's going to be some amount of people sending just nasty DMs to the people who make those videos in defense of Oyama and Jar Chomp, and then to Jar Chomp and Oyama in accordance with the mob mentality. But it all is what it is at the end of the day. I only pay for the Discord to crap on paywall Discords. It's just purely for the financial gains. Anyone who's followed Oyama's journey shouldn't be surprised. He's from a business background. He's here to make money, and it's not for the hobby. I mean, I don't know why people so consistently lump in making money, or people think making money and being for the hobby are mutually exclusive. I would argue that that having good ambassadors or whatever, like Jar Chomp and Oyama, and I would like to think myself, and having people who do business at a high degree of ethics and morals, having those lead others, like I've never been in their course. I never will be in their course, but I'm gonna stick my neck out. I guarantee you they're not telling you how to resale packs. I guarantee you they're not telling you how to lie, cheat, and steal your way to the top. They are pushing forward like good business ethics and morals and all that stuff, and they're showing you how to make money in a space. And I would argue that having people guided by good, responsible vendors and people like themselves, I would argue that's a net win for the hobby. I don't know why, and Alex has talked about this a lot too, Nostalgianomics. Like, people, oh, this is my hobby, this is my passion, this is my joy. You're not allowed to make money here, you're evil. Going back to like the golf, there are people who make money running golf courses as a profitable business. There are people who sell golf lessons as a profitable business. There are people who any hobby you can think of that involves engaging with other people or at some specific location or involving some specific equipment. There are profitable industries built around those, teaching how to do them and building the foundation, producing the equipment, whatever it may be. There are profitable businesses around every hobby. I guess unless your hobby is literally like if your hobby, well, no, I was gonna say if your hobby is meditating or yoga, I was gonna say that involves a yoga mat. There are people selling there are definitely people selling things about yoga and what's the word I was looking for again? Anyways, there are businesses and things around everything. But yeah, continuing. $2,500 is 862 kid size with sprinkles. Hold on, let me see how much a kid size with sprinkles is for you. $290. No, mine's more than that. I live in a fairly low cost of living area in a high cost of living state. My kid size with sprinkles is like $350. I think it's $350. Yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna go back to blue and orange. I'm gonna end the live relatively soon. If people have more questions, feel free to ask. I'm gonna bring the light back up. No more red light, Dan. That was the first red light in a long time. Leave Jar Chomp and Oyama alone. They're good guys doing good business, and there's demand for what they're selling. As much as that hurts your feelings, there's demand for it. So like, yeah, live and let live is my thoughts. And yeah, I'm very much a proponent of the First Amendment and all that, and the drama channels be allowed to be drama and keep on keeping on. And I don't know. I don't know all their motives and all their incentives. Well, I know their incentives. Their incentives are, one incentive at least is financial. There are some drama channels that make a lot of money just attacking others, basically. And maybe they think they're saving other people, and they think they're doing like all this. And again, to some extent, like when they're calling out actual liars, cheaters, thieves, all those things like that, that's good. But like, there's no victim here. Best 5K I ever spent was on a mental health / life coach. I don't know if this is a meme comment or if this is real. Like I know that those things exist. Yeah, like if you have the desire, you being driver backwards or anyone else, if you are an adult making a sober, conscious decision to engage with something like that, there's no victim there. There's no victim there. Will you get all the value out of it? Could you have sought the value in a better way, more efficient way, taking into consideration time? Like, it's everyone's time is valued differently. So yeah, there's a lot of angles around it, but I think the dumbest take is that it's too much money. The dumbest take is that everything is free. Just go find it. Yeah, good luck. Like, there's infinite content out there. There's literally every second there are like minutes worth of content, or every minute there's hours worth of content being uploaded to YouTube. You will never be able to parse through everything. And there's value in pulling out the good nuggets. Difference between your consults and their course is that you've been in the game long enough and see who you really are. But Oyama blew up based off charisma, but anyone with a sense can see the salesman. I mean, being a good salesman is like a skill. And again, like I don't know the contents of their course or of their masterclass or whatever. But I think given that he's walked the walk, he's actively walking the walk, I think he and again, if you disagree, don't buy his course. That's my take. It's like people say it in like it almost feels like you're saying it in a negative way, that he blew up based on charisma and that he's like a good salesman. Like, I think those are good traits, and I think he's clearly significantly better content creator than I am, and vendor and all that stuff. But end of the day, yeah, like live and let live is my take. I have $1,700 to invest. How do I dominate the Pokemon resale space? You do a $300 consult with Catch 'em All Collectibles, and you start there, and then your $1,400, you go from there. Oh man, I like Red Light Dan. I bet I'm not viral enough to get picked up by any of the drama channels. Two things. They don't want to punch down because there's no value in responding to me because they're not going to get enough views off of it. Putting me in the thumbnail would have no value because people don't know who I am. The mainstream people. And then the other part is that so punching down is not worth it. And then the other part is that my argument is too logical, rational, reasonable, and I don't think they could pick it apart. I think that I rant and ramble so long that it took me 30 minutes to get through everything. Like a good response, like a good React PokeTuber, they could take 5 and 10-second snippets where I didn't speak so eloquently, where I don't see a good, strong response video coming. The best they could do would be to take little snippets and take me out of context. But the core of my argument is too strong to pick apart. That's my opinion. So like maybe I'll meditate is the word I was looking for. I do need to go to bed soon. Yeah, everything in life is sales. Okay. With all that, I have reached the bottom. Oh wait. Oh yeah. I had one starred question, but it was this one. With that, I made it to the end, a little over 2 hours. We got a nice red light, Dan, for the first time in several months. I appreciate everyone watching as always. I will catch you all later.